So guys, what do y'all think with Power 1?
I actually really enjoyed the book. I thought it had a lot of really good character development in it.
True. I'm kind of in the middle is how I feel about the book. Like, the character development was pretty poor, pretty unrealistic compared to the real world.
Well, what do you two dislike and like about it?
Well, I say we kind of start from the beginning and talk about how Nanny was really the first person to truly influence PK.
True. Nanny was the first person who really influenced PK from the very start of the book and all the way through to the end of the book.
Yeah, Nanny basically took over as PK's mom ever since she had her mental breakdown.
Yeah, PK's feelings towards Nanny are definitely stronger than those towards his mother. Like, remember that one time when they were in Barbertown and PK chose to be with Nanny rather than his own, mother?
True. Hey, remember when PK had his bedwetting problem?
Bedwetting.
But his problem was solved through Grandpa Chook and Dr. Nkose calming his mind and ridding him of his fear.
Yeah, and then Grandpa Chook, was really PK's only friend at that time and really gave PK confidence in himself.
True. We know that Grandpa Chook was PK's first ever friend, but what about his first mentor, Hoppy?
Hoppy got PK really interested in boxing. He even took him to one of his fights, making PK want to be a welterweight champion of the world.
Mm-hmm. And that's all very true though, and Hoppy was definitely a great mentor, don't get me wrong, but what about the teachings from Doc?
Oh yeah, Doc really taught PK a lot about music, and especially the beauty of nature.
Doc was honestly one of my favorite characters in the book, even if he did have a bit of a drinking problem and addiction to cactuses.
Well, I kind of feel like the positives of Doc really outweigh the negatives of his character though.
Since we're on the subject of mentors, what about Gil Pete?
Gil Pete was the first person to really teach PK how to be a good boxer and stand up for himself, and that good boxer should be like a dancer.
That very true, but let's also talk about PK's first human friend, Mori.
Alright, Mori was his first, I guess, human friend, in his age group at the Prince of Wales school.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool because both of them had their own disabilities, if you will, as Mori was Jewish and PK was a Zulu, and also he was English.
Yeah, they were both kind of
Misfits.
outcasts.
Yeah.
They didn't really fit in, and they both kind of used each other to help themselves feel comfortable.
Right.
So did the racial tensions from the book really affect you guys and your feelings towards, kind of the racial tensions we have in today's society?
Well, I think in this book in particular, obviously it was more of a darker time, with World War II and everything, but it definitely did show some kind of scary similarities with today's world.
True. There's many of examples of racial tensions within the book. In the beginning when PK was the only English person in the school, and you'd get picked on by all the Boer kids, the judge.
And then it just also another point is that the amount of abuse that PK went through just because he was different is really alarming, and I think that's something that is being addressed today, but it's still a big problem, of course.
Right, the bullying problem today has definitely been, I don't want to say completely eradicated, but it's still there, and it's not as bad as it was in the book, definitely.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's talk about how people can influence you in real life as opposed to how they influence you in the book.
Right, well, PK, he had a lot of really close people, but since he was younger, he was more easily influenced by these people. So, he met Hoppy for, one day, and already Hoppy was, his best friend at that time.
Right. He really soaks in all the information he can from everyone he meets. Like Doc also, with all the nature and cactuses and stuff.
I wouldn't say this is a good thing, because in our world, if you were very, I guess not naive, but always they took it what every person said to heart, it won't exactly get you the farthest in today's culture.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So I kind of think it's fair that we all have our own different opinions on the characters as to who influenced PK the most. For myself, I'd have to say it was probably Hoppy, as he really kind of pushed PK into what he really wanted to do in life.
True. I have to disagree a bit, because I think it was Grandpa Chook. Because, having friends is very important, especially in PK's world, where a very hostile area, and having friends is always a good thing. And Grandpa Chook was the first friend that he actually had, making him one of the biggest influences in the book.
Right.
I thought it was Gil Pete, because even though Hoppy taught him, showed him what he wanted to do in his future, Gil Pete really emphasized on it and taught him how to be tough and take care of himself, and really showed him the power of one person.
it's a really solid point there, and really just in general, every character influenced PK in one way or another, and I honestly love this book.
True. I couldn't say I loved it, but, you know, it's better than some books we read.
Fair.
All right.